Hey, Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps, and I'm joined now with the one and only Natasha Jonas. Good to see you.
And you. Thanks for having me.
I know we caught up not long ago, and I don't want to bore your head off with the same questions over and over and over. So I really just want to know, first and foremost, how you're feeling and what your vibe is like going into easily the biggest fight of your career this weekend.
I feel good. I'm quietly confident. Mentally, physically, spiritually in a good place. And I knew I had to be better than I was for the half camp. And my stats, you know, me weight, me speed, me times, and, you know, me mentally, I know I'm in a better place. So I've done everything I needed to do. Just got to show that on Saturday. That's it. That's it.
Have you ran into Katie yet? It's a very small bubble, so I'm curious if you guys have been able to see each other.
No, not yet. I thought that was her just walking through the door. I should ask that question, but it wasn't. It was Campbell Latin. I've seen her mum. I've seen Brian Peters, but I've not seen her yet.
She was just upstairs eating.
Oh, okay. I missed her.
So you've been going into this pretty relaxed. You know what's ahead of you, but at the same time, you're not sort of letting the aura of Katie Taylor affect how you're approaching the fight. A lot of times people always, let's be honest, whenever they're the champion and the reigning champion, they tend to sit on a pedestal. Have you felt like people are completely dismissing you because they sort of have this image of Katie Taylor in their minds?
Maybe, but I understand why. You know, there's plenty of times I've sat back on the Sky commentary team and looked and thought, oh, wow, that was a boss performance or whatever. But she's got to live up to that expectation, not me. Everyone thinks you're some unbeatable, inhuman person or boxer. Then you've got to show that, and you've got to show that every fight, because then when you start to, have them pursuing nights, people start questioning whether you can still do it, whether you've still got it, and whatever. And if people are expecting, I think I'm the underdog here, and I've proved that I'll rise up to the occasion when asked to. So we'll see.
Do you feel that the pressure is more so on her than you this week?
Yeah, 100%. People expect me to lose, so if I lost, they'd be like, well, we thought that anyway. What if I win?
We have been seeing a surge in women's boxing. I think one of the exciting fights that just happened as well was Shannon Courtenay against Ebanie Bridges, who both of them really came out and gave it everything they had. I mean, swear to God, they were just throwing kitchen sinks at one another that night. Ebanie ended up with the biggest ball, it looked like, on her eye. Can fans expect a sort of war like that on Saturday night?
I think, Katie's going to bring the best version of her, and I'll bring the best version of me, and I think that makes for a good fight anyway. Doesn't we've shown in every fight that we've ever been in, and beyond that, women's boxing is entertaining, and people like what they see. Fight camp was very successful. Not only myself and Terry was up for fight of the year, also McCaskill and Brockhouse were. So, the women's boxing is here to stay, and people appreciate it, people enjoy it. And every time we step into the ring, we put on a show. So.
Do you know what's funny is my mom doesn't watch too much boxing. I probably shouldn't say that, but it's true. My dad does, but my mom doesn't. But she was sitting back and she was like, oh my God, the women, they just fight. They fight more than the men. She doesn't even know really what she's saying, but she was noticing that the women's fights are very exciting. I'm hoping that in the near future, we will start to see, like you and I have previously discussed, better pay, better exposure, and seeing you guys sort of getting the treatment you should be getting.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm not sure if it'll happen in my career time as I'm getting on a little bit, but the thing is to make things better for the ones coming through, so they don't have to do them same fights and have them same issues and problems that we do. So if you can do that and lead a pathway for them to come through and take it, why not?
You've accomplished a lot in your career, but what's the pinnacle for you? What would you say? I've done this, so now I'm content with no matter what happens.
Saturday's that pinnacle where I just coming out with the belt to just give me peace. Finally, I'll be satisfied and at peace with myself mentally.
I'm just curious what you thought about Shannon Courtenay's comments about Ebanie Bridges, about how she was promoting the fight, and Ebanie was basically saying like, look, this is who I am, and sex sells, and it is what it is. Did you see it as a negative, or did you see that as a positive?
For me, you know, I think Ebanie, and especially after speaking to her, she's really smart. She's very smart in what she does, and she doesn't really need a promoter, or because she's done it herself. And people, no disrespect to Shannon, but people weren't tuning in to see Shannon. They were tuning in to see Ebanie, and that was for the weigh-in. And then they wanted to make sure that, you know, she could back it up, and boy, did she do that. So she brought a whole different viewership for whatever reason to boxing, and people talk about the YouTube stuff and, you know, how it's bad for the sport. Yeah, but they are bringing eyes to the sport as well. And the same with Ebanie. She brought eyes to boxing, and then lived up to her expectations and probably surpassed them. So how can that be a bad thing?
Did you give her any advice when you guys met up together? By the way, I spoke to Ebanie, and she was like, Natasha's so pretty. I'm like, I know.
That's it.
She's like, she could be a model.
No, but I was speaking to her before the fight. Obviously, I found out I was going to be on the part of the commentary team, and I like to speak to all the boxers. I like to go and see them, but you can't always do that now with COVID and stuff. But before the fight, everyone was asking me predictions. I thought, yeah, Courtenay wins it easily. I hadn't seen anything of Ebanie. But from what I'd heard, and like I'd spoken to some of the Australian amateur team, she wasn't very successful amateur. So I was like, oh, okay, I think this might be easy night for Ebanie. And then I spoke to Ebanie, and she was like, no, I'm very confident, and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, wow, no, she's changed my mind here. And someone asked me a couple of days before, and I was like, look, I said Courtenay easy, but now I changed my mind because she's confident, and there's something about when someone's quietly confident that you've got to give them props for, because they're seeing something you aren't. Like with Terry, everyone was like, no, Jonas has passed it, can't do 10 rounds, can't make the weight, struggles with this, struggles with that. And I was like, okay, we'll see. No one believed me, and I didn't need them to believe me. I was like, well, okay, we'll see. And that's the attitude she had. So I was like, whoa, I've been there. I know what that means. That means you've seen something that we haven't. And she went out and she proved it. In the same way I did with Terry, you know, I proved it.
And kind of the same way you're being now?
Same way I'm being now. I prove it.
I was like, you're kind of acting like that right now. Yeah, I was going to say, because you guys have sort of been in similar situations in the sense that, you know, it was a close fight. Obviously, Shannon did edge the fight. Even with you, a lot of people felt that you should have won against Terry. Now, but seeing the success that's come off the back of a loss, it doesn't necessarily mean it's game over, you know? So I just saw some similarities there, because she came out and doors are opening for her now that weren't there before, because she proved something. She showed the world what she's capable of, much like you did.
Yeah, you've got to take the positives out of a negative situation, and there's always positives, you know, whether that's in your performance, whether that's in the future of where you are, where you're at, whatever it is, there'll always be a positive, and you've just got to look for that, because if you keep focusing on the negative, you're not going to progress and move forward or go anywhere. So yeah, I didn't give her any advice. She didn't need it. She was clever, man. She taught me a few things. Maybe I'll put an online thing about what I'm going to wear. See what happens. People will turn off instead of turn on.
Well, it's always great catching up with you. I wish you all the best this weekend. Don't watch too much Housewives, though, you guys. Yeah. They're big fans in the gym of the Housewives of Cheshire. I'll get Hannah to stop by one day.
Yeah, and thanks, Tanya, for me. Good luck message. I appreciate it.
Yeah, there you go. She gave you a shot, or gave you a DM. Yeah. Well, I wish you all the best, and hopefully I can catch up with you post-fight. Sure. All right. Bye. Thank you. Bye, Fight fans. Hey Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do so by clicking this icon right here, or else